poultry industry serves as employment and a source of income to many Kenyans. Unfortunately, not many of the farmers consider the marketing plan ahead of venturing into the business, as most pay heavy attention to the production processes alone. In turn, the farmers end up making very little profit and eventually abandoning the venture altogether. On our show today, we feature James Moniki, a poultry farmer from Kikuyu who has countered the challenges in the egg market, such as the flooding of eggs and the low prices. Mr. Moniki ensures to tackle the market plans ahead of investing in poultry production. In every business enterprise, it is always said that the production is not ended until the goods have reached the final consumer. This clearly underscores the fact that merely producing poultry birds and the other products is simply not enough, because marketing is needed to make the cycle complete. Marketing here simply means finding out what customers want and supplying effectively at a profit.
So once we get the market and we lock it, because the good thing with dealing with the institutions, you tender, you get a contract maybe for a year, then you produce based on that. And you'll know, even in those tender documents, it's clear that they want to consume, all their trading consumption is this. So back end, this is what we treat like our factory. Is now what we say, get more input, because we need to meet the market. Like now I'll show you that is more now driven on by demand, that now we have a generation that we want to cover a new market niche that we have secured.
Oh,
yes.
Awesome. I think that's a good thing to share with them. Because I think it's vice versa.
Yes, you see
for
now.
them, it's production,
Yes.
it's too much.
Produce,
So now
go
it's
to the
giving them
market.
The pressure, going to the
Of
market,
course, that
there
will-
is overproduction.
that one will
So
burn
there
your
is way of
fingers.
disposing the
Exactly.
waste. Yeah.
James is an entrepreneur, and in his line of business, he noticed a gap in the supply chain of poultry produce, which was eggs and meat. He mostly sells his produce to learning institutions. For eggs, he keeps the layers birds, and broilers for meat.
The line we are dealing with, mostly the institutions where we are feeding them with, we are supplying them with the milk. We also realized the consumption of the broiler was a big gap, and many of the institutions that we were dealing with used to complain or to have a problem with the sourcing of their products. Personally, I'm an entrepreneur, but my background is in IT engineering, and my partner is a tour and travel consultant, but both of us seems to have developed interest in farming.
Before venturing in a new business, sourcing information in your line of interest is very crucial. James and his partner were careful to seek information from credible poultry experts and experienced farmers.
This is where we started. This is where the farm started, on this small structure that could only handle around 200 broilers. That is one batch at a time. We had first of all to do some research to understand how do we layer this, and how we did it is by first visiting the farmers who we already know that were doing this business. Later we approached one of the veterinary who is also has specialized in poultry farming. Actually, one of the distributor of these chickens is the one who introduced that. So that's where our journey started into poultry farming. After getting insight, the veterinary actually took us to other farms, and from the experience we were interested. So how we approached is first of all to convince those institutions to give us. And from the visit we did, we realized some farmer would just produce, not knowing where the market is. So we're trying to bridge that by now, getting those orders, get such farmers, and assure them, keep this batch and we'll buy. After understanding the market needs, identifying a farmer who can bring the produce for us, Then we realized that if we were to do it ourselves, again now putting every angle into perspective, that economy of scale will give you some better margins. So we rolled the first batch, and through the support of, I would refer as an extension officer. But him is on a private, so he would charge. For every farm visit, he will charge a little. So he was able to walk us through. Now, closely working with our team here on the ground, they were able to learn, because some of these things are sequence. You know, at 1 week you give this vaccine, second week you give. So if you follow those, then you also come to master the process. Right now we just do it end to end. We don't actually seek those services. Again, we lower those cost of production, because all those, if you bundle them up, basically will be amounting to what will be your production cost. So in this game is make sure your production cost is as lower as possible. Then you'll be able to make something or to be competitive in the market. Because again, there are no controls on how much you can sell a kilo of coupon. Someone will float it, it is all over. So for you to remain relevant and competitive, even to your customers, then you have to make sure your production costs are lower.
Njuguna explains that when you are supplying to institutions, it is important to observe the standard expected by your client.
So you find the institutions have some prerequisite, like they would value a customer who looks at the hygiene, the way of feeding, and you find you are fetching a better price from them. Not now like who is the most cheapest in this angle. You find now they will come and check. So we have had a number of institutions visiting us and see how we grow our poultry, so that they are assured of the quality and hygiene, or even the end product is safe for human consumption. So capitalizing on those, a number of them have come. We have gotten a business from referrals that would actually refer, and they visit and they like the farm. And that's how we have managed to grow our farm from a small unit to now doing approximately 3,000 units. Now, combining both the layers and the broilers, actually is almost 4,000. But you know the lifespan of the broilers is short, so the batches come as the turnover on them is high.
There are different systems of rearing chicken, namely free range, that is extensive, semi-intensive, folding units, and intensive systems. To a large extent, chicken production, especially at a commercial level, heavily relies on intensive systems, with the common ones being battery cage and deep litter systems. The choice of system to use is mainly dictated by available resources, with the deep litter indisputably being the most widely used across the country. James explains why the cage system was the most suitable for him.
This is now the production site. Basically, we refer it as a factory. Here we normally don't allow many people to access this place for the good reason that diseases are spread by people walking in. These kind of structures economize on your space utilization, and also makes very easy for your accountability of the chickens. If I was to do a stock check, I will just quickly do. In every compartment, if you look at it, they are also divided. These hold 3, 4, 3, 3. So I'll come and quickly walk through and do a very quick stock check. This, we call it battery system. This battery system has segments. From here to here is one segment you can see. So in every compartment can hold a minimum of 1, maximum of 4. So again, now you need to determine based on the size of your birds whether to do 1, 2, 3, up to a maximum of 4 to avoid again what we call overcrowding. Overcrowding will make, for instance, if you look at this, trees are set to eat. One is, meaning there is one that will not feed well. What do you expect at the end of the day? The production of that chicken will be affected. It means now you also reduce your. So you have to check on the right size of the size so that you know how many do I stack in this in one compartment. So this system, we came across it through our research. That is, we did some research through internet, and we came across this. So when we are doing our cost-benefit analysis in terms of investment, we actually could actually demonstrate value that after we invest on this, the cost of running, the headache is reduced.
Most bright colors can be used to attract many different birds, with certain bird species being more attracted to particular shades. This explains the reason why we have feeders and drinkers painted red and sometimes bright yellow.
You'd ask yourself, why are the water nipples all red? Because birds are attracted to red colors. That's how they will peck. As they peck, they drink. That's how they are attracted to know this is the water, because how will they know this is the water point? So the moment also if they peck another bird and they bleed, they will keep pecking to that spot, and eventually they will kill that.
Broilers have a shorter maturity period than the layers. For commercial purposes, many farmers seem to prefer rearing a combination of the two breeds for a continuous income.
The maturity rate for broilers, if we are giving, again, the order of the vaccine, then also feeding with the quality feeds that has the right component of the nutrients, the maturity rates, maturity for a broiler is 6 weeks.